Triple J says yes. Check out our new and enhanced website at triplejguam.com. Get real-time view of every vehicle in our inventory, instant trade-in, plus easy financing. Triple J says yes. triplejguam.com.
Hi, Father.
Hello. Hi, Isa.
Welcome to cruising.
Thank you.
Joining us.
You do know what your name means in Chamorro, right?
Yes, rainbow.
You think we'll see one today?
I hope so. It's my
Well,
good
that
luck
means it's
charm.
going to rain a little. Do we want that?
Well, a little rain now and then isn't so bad.
Isa, so you know that I grew up right next to your grandma and grandpa.
Really?
Yes. And I'm not talking Chamorro next to, which could be 5 houses down, but literally next to, in old Sinahanya before urban renewal.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Jesus and Josefa Baza. And of course, the famous singer, okay, Flora, who always reminds me that she saw me running around in my underwear when I was 3 years old. So you are whose daughter?
Jesse's daughter.
Jesse. He was best friends with my brother because they're around the same age.
Okay, so we're just gonna... Where did you want to drive to?
Let's go down to Aganya
Yeah, okay.
because I want to see if that guy really went to work today. He said, I can't drop off papaya yet, Polly. I have to go to work. So let me see if his car's at work. Or else toca.
So you know you're a really well-known figure here in Guam.
A big figure? What are you trying to say, Isa? I'm
well-known
working on it, okay? I just had golay mongoose today for lunch.
That must be hard, you know, being a priest. Everyone wants to cook for you. Everyone wants to help you.
Oh, I'm telling you, the day after my ordination, I gained 10 pounds. So anyway, yeah, let's go to Hagata.
Okay. So, what made you first want to become a priest?
Well, when I was a little kid, I was taken to church all the time, like every day. My super Catholic grandma and her sisters who never married, and so from a little kid's age, I would look up at the altar and I would say, man, that's cool what they're doing. I didn't even know what they were doing, but it looked cool to me. So I said, I want to be up there. Well, little did I know that, you know, you can't be a priest at 5 years old.
Yeah.
But if you waited a few years, you could be an altar boy. So I already put in my application and my resume and my police clearance and everything to be an altar boy. When I was 5, and Sister Uptada, God bless her soul, from Sinahanya, your grandma and grandpa would know all about her. I'll go into the actual city. This is a city now of Hagata. Even back in Spanish times, this was a city, La Ciudad de San Ignacio de Hagata. So I pestered her for about 2 years, and finally when I made First Communion, December of 1970, at St. Francis Jotnya, I claimed Jotnya as my second village because I went to St. Francis School there 1st to 6th grade. So you would think, right, that I live in Sinahanya. Why didn't my mom and dad just send me to the cathedral?
Yeah.
But they wanted us half-howly kids. I mean, it's already enough that we're white. So he wanted, my dad, who's white, wanted to send us to the most Chamorro school possible, you know, within distance, because he would drive to Father Duenas. He'd drop us at school, or if we didn't take the bus, then he'd go to FD where he teaches, so that we could grow up as Chamorro as possible. So yeah, I knew all about Daigu and Rakyu and all of that by the time I was in 1st grade. That's
funny because I can kind of relate to, you know, how you said your family was really Catholic and they wanted to, they took you to church all the time, so you thought, I was like, oh, I wonder what it's like to be up there. I want to do that. I used to play church all the time when I was a little kid.
You did?
And I would make my sister take communion.
Really?
Yeah.
Mother Isa.
Yeah.
Mother Rainbow. So anyway, here we are in the heart of San Ignacio de Hagata, so named by the Spaniards, and of course it existed long before the Spaniards. And they say that this land was donated by Kipuha, but I'm not quite sure whether this was the actual spot of land. We have sent researchers to land management to look at the 1668 records, but Gov Guam, you know, missing documents.
And this
So-
area has really transformed over the past decade.
Oh yes, over the past decade. I remember 10 years ago being asked to be a guest speaker at a fundraiser at one of our fancy hotels by some association. I think it was mainly led by businessmen and women to revive Hagata. I think it was during the Carl Gutierrez. I take that back because Governor Camacho was seated right in front laughing his head off. I had the whole crowd laughing from the beginning to end. Such a serious subject. I got near restoration, but I had them all laughing, and Governor Camacho was right there. But it started under Gutierrez, if I'm not mistaken. This Hagata revitalization. Yeah,
That's beautiful with this
it is.
museum.
They've really done a great job.
You can have they had Festpac here. It was really nice to see all the performances.
Yeah, it took me a while to warm up to the design of the new museum, but I'm warmed up now. That's official now. You heard it first here on this program.
And the new legislature.
And the new legislature, which is really the old judicial building, and then the Guam Congress, and now it houses the legislature. Thank goodness. For years, I couldn't understand why it lay there doing nothing. I mean, I understand all the other technical points and issues, but you know, we were renting a place that, you know, come on, sorry landowner, but it just wasn't prestigious looking, dignified as the seat of the legislative branch.
I should pass by it.
Yeah, let's pass by it. And I used to work there from the time I was 14 years old.
Wow.
I couldn't even vote yet. And I was working part-time at the legislature.
Triple J says yes. Check out our new and enhanced website at triplejguam.com. Get real-time view of every vehicle in our inventory, instant trade-in, plus easy financing. Triple J says yes. triplejguam.com. Triple J says yes. Check out our new and enhanced website at triplejguam.com. Get real-time view of every vehicle in our inventory, instant trade-in, plus easy financing. Triple J says yes. triplejguam.com.
So, you know, people, when they think of you, they think of your experience as a historian and with Chamorro culture and history. What made you first get involved in that?
My grandmother. I don't consider myself a historian. I don't consider myself anything except a friar and a priest. But I dabble, you know, in history and language and cultural research because I'm just interested in it. I have a really good friend in the States. He's Chamorro, but he lives in the States. And when I visited the States a few months ago, he told me, I read your blog every day, even if you don't post every day. And I said, you know, I would keep that blog even if nobody read it. Because it's just stuff that I naturally would research and look up and study myself. I don't do that for anybody's welfare or benefit but mine. Because I just love my island. I love my people. I love my family. In order to understand my family, I have to understand the island where they lived. And the island which helped form them, and the history which helped form them. So all of it, you know, pre-colonial, colonial, and as many would say, present colonial.
So what made you decide to start putting your blog online?
Those Chamorros in San Diego. See, I had spent all of 2010 and a tiny bit of 2009 in California because I was on sabbatical. And because I had served 9 years as superior, and I survived. I didn't have a heart attack or stroke. So they gave me a consolation prize, and they said, well, when you finish your last year of 9, hi Guam Congress building, it's pretty. You know, so many memories, Isa. So many memories. Top was central staff or central files. That was the speaker's office. I believe this is a new addition because from what I remember, that was all modular homes, you know, and it was leaking, and what was the use of air conditioning because all of the cold air escaped through the 400,000 cracks. The floor was sinking. It's a miracle that, you know, nobody died. But anyway, so many memories. What were we talking about?
We're talking about how you ended
Oh
up
yeah,
starting your
yeah,
blog.
yeah. And so San Diego, so I started to minister, reach out, and they didn't know me from Adam. A few Chamorros in San Diego knew me, but the majority did not. I remember the first couple times I would say mass for them, they kind of just looked, but it didn't take more than 2 or 3 months for them to start going ha ha and laughing at my silly jokes. And of course there's also serious, when I preach the gospel to them and whatnot. But this is Chamorro. If you're going to promote the Chamorro culture, por favor, do it in a Chamorro way, which does not exclude borrowing, because that's a Chamorro thing. We just grab, zangin maulik, zangin manit, zulia, adzawa. So, vlogging, that's a modern thing, even though is blogging on the way out?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, I don't know.
A lot of really popular
I started blogging in 2011 and it's 2017, and I'm always behind the times.
But yeah, I think it's good how you mentioned that, it's a modern time. That's a great way to get information out. And recently I saw that you had you branched out into another field.
What?
Film.
What? Film? Oh, the DVD. That was just one DVD. It's not gonna make. Some people keep telling me, make another DVD and call it I Am Still Chamorro. But man, that was.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh, okay, it's all tied in with the San Diego Chamorros, who are probably not able to listen to this. Anyway, so I was doing fiestas left and right, and also right and left sometimes. And well, someone came up with the idea, besides fiesta masses, what else can we do for the Chamorro community since you're out here? And I said, how about a cultural workshop? Because so many of the Chamorros in California are long gone from the island, miss the island, yearn for anything Chamorro they can eat, taste, smell, feel. And many of them have never even been here, born and raised there and so on. So, okay, we'll have a Chamorro cultural workshop, and it was a fun day. A lot of serious stuff, a lot of information, but a lot of humor too. And I mean, at the end of the day, we'd start at like 8:30 in the morning and go till 5 in the afternoon, 5:30, and then we'd have mass in Chamorro or partly in Chamorro, and 7 o'clock they're going to their cars in the parking lot to go home, and they're like, Polly, we don't want to go, we want this to continue, how about tomorrow? I said, Dale, tomorrow's Sunday, at least give me a day of rest. So so all of that was the start of it. And so they said, well, you're going back to Guam, we won't have you all year long like we were used to this past year. What can you do to keep in contact? So someone said, hey, did you ever hear of a thing called a block? And I said, well, in Sinanya, my house was in block 12. And they go, no, a blog. How do you spell that? B-L-O-G.
Oh.
I said, oh, blog. Okay. La Chamorro blog. So I said, okay, let me be like Magellan and explore that. So sure enough, I started the blog, and it's very humble beginnings. I think the first month I only had like 400 or 500. Just 2-3 days ago I had 7,000 hits in one day. In one day. So might as well keep doing it.
Triple J says yes. Check out our new and enhanced website at triplejguam.com. Get real-time view of every vehicle in our inventory, instant trade-in, plus easy financing. Triple J says yes. triplejguam.com. Triple J says yes. Check out our new and enhanced website at triplejguam.com. Get real-time view of every vehicle in our inventory, instant trade-in, plus easy financing. Triple J says yes. triplejguam.com.
I actually wanted to ask you, because the Catholic religion has been a big part of the Chamorro history. How do you think that ties in with, or what are your thoughts on Tautomonas?
My thoughts on Tautomona. Okay. Well, that people are experiencing things that I think in a lot, if not most cases, I think that's beyond question, right? I mean, when someone says that they heard something, felt something, as in they were physically they felt something, or that very curious bruises that in their recollection have no natural explanation.
Yeah.
Or if they see things, you know. I think in most cases it's beyond question that they experience something. I do think it's not beyond human possibility to make up stories.
Definitely.
Right? I mean, that's just...
I've heard so many stories throughout the years, and sometimes they're similar. It seems like either people have similar experiences, or else maybe they heard the same story.
Yeah. And because, maybe it's a cultural trait of ours that we add ajinomoto to everything, including our stories, just to make things more interesting. Okay. But excluding those cases, nonetheless, Your Honor, there are cases where someone really experienced what they said they've experienced. So that's not a question for me. So the next, that's point one. Point two now is, what did they experience?
So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, you cannot exclude the possibility that there's a natural reason for at least some of them. You cannot exclude that possibility. That it could have been an animal, it could have been some kind of optic illusion.
Could have been something you don't remember that caused a bruise.
Yeah, exactly, right? So, but then, can I really exclude the other possibility that there are spirits involved? No. As a Catholic, I believe in the spiritual world, right? It's defining what that is where we might part ways, right? But the secular atheists or the materialists who do not believe in anything that's not material, and there are Chamorros who are that. There are Chamorros who say there is no God. Is that me or you?
But I think it might be.
Doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
It's a disturbing, annoying, and irritating sound. So let's see if I can get rid of it. I'm sorry, it's me, mea culpa. So what was I going to say? The materialists, the only thing they can say is, oh, there's a natural explanation for all of that. Or it could be psychological. Let's not preclude that possibility too. I mean, let's not limit it just to tautamonas. There are people who come up to me and say that they saw me, Polly Eric, yesterday at Micronesia Mall dressed as a leprechaun. So let's not just talk about Tautamona. So anyway, and I was nowhere near Micronesia Mall. Sometimes I dress as a leprechaun, but only on St. Patrick's Day. So it's very possible that people are seeing things, experiencing things caused by spirits. But what spirits? Okay. Now,
Tautamonas are supposed to be ancient spirits.
well, right, that's the idea, right? It's an interesting question because according to what we know about pre-contact Chamorros is that they venerated, they obviously believed that we had spirits, that these spirits survived death, that the body died, the spirit didn't die. That's totally in line right now. Everything I've said so far is totally in line with Catholic teaching. And that they would honor and revere the spirits of their ancestors, but not only their spirits, but even their remains, especially the skulls, right? So a custom would be, for example, to dig up the skull after the body had decayed and place the skull in a place of honor and talk to the skull as it's talking to the spirit. But as far as I know, and someone more knowledgeable than me can chime in later, I've never come across an early colonial description of pre-contact Chamorro beliefs that they believed in a whole category of spirits, of ancestors, that they called Tautau Mona, the people before us. Mona means ahead, before. Which is interesting because other people's perspective would be they should be Tautau Tati.
Yeah, from the past.
Yeah,
right?
from the past. But it's all a matter of perspective. I'm not even sure that the word Tautalmotna was in use by the Chamorros, the pre-contact Chamorros. So there's a possibility that this idea that there's a whole race or category of spirit beings of our ancestors, the Tautalmotna, the people from the Motna times, the before times, the ahead of us in time, inhabiting the jungle, that could have been a post-colonial concept.
Triple J says yes. Check out our new and enhanced website at triplejguam.com. Get real-time view of every vehicle in our inventory, instant trade-in, plus easy financing. Triple J says yes. triplejguam.com. Triple J says yes. Check out our new and enhanced website at triplejguam.com. Get real-time view of every vehicle in our inventory, instant trade-in, plus easy financing. Triple J says yes. triplejguam.com.
I tried to ask my grandparents to speak to me in Chamorro when I was younger because I stayed with my grandpa, Jesus and Josefa, for a little bit. But I think they just got frustrated because
I know, I go through the same thing. I go through the same thing. One of our young brothers is desperately trying to learn Chamorro, but he wants to start speaking fluent Chamorro tonight. You know, and so it is very frustrating because he'll try to say something in Chamorro and all it does is just make you go, ah. I don't have too much hair to begin with and I want to tear what little I have out. And I understand and I commend him and I love the guy to death, but you know, I had to explain to him. I said, you know, sometimes you're just making the work harder by trying to climb Mount Lam Lam in one step. Start small. This is a politician. I won't name him or her, but a politician came up to me privately and said, Polly, it's not just for votes, because you don't really need to learn Chamorro for votes nowadays, but more of a sense of pride. How do I start to learn Chamorro? And I said, adopt me, no. I said, I don't consider myself an expert in the language either. I'm an expert in nothing but my own sins. That's it. So I said to him or her, I said, how did you learn to speak English? Which is a question nobody asks. Hey, Isa, not to interrupt, but why are we in Sinahanya? You're biased. Just because you're a Baza and I am a Forbes from Sinahanya.
You were talking about Sinahanya, so I just figured.
This is a wonderful village, and we could spend a whole program just on Sinahanya alone. But how did you learn to speak English? I think the answer to that, Isa, is the key to solving the other question, how do I learn Chamorro? You begin to speak English by saying ba ba boo boo bee bee bee, you know. I almost said another B word, I shouldn't say. But you make the mistakes, you sound ridiculous, but mommy and daddy kind of get what you're trying to say. And it's these small steps with these little corrections, and it happens over years. And you begin to form full sentences. You know, you get the word right, you pronounce it right. Instead of dada, it becomes daddy, you know. And then father, it becomes father or dad. And then you can say, dad, come home. You know, you express an idea like that. So the same thing in Chamorro. You just learn a little at a time. But what's important about Chamorro is that you learn not only words but also the mentality, and you learn to change your mouth, because not to mock anybody, but I mean Chamorro. And I mean, I understood every word I just said, but hi Baza.
So where did you used to live?
Oh, the house used to be right here. Stop.
Oh, right here?
Yeah. Stop.
Road?
Right in front of this car. Is this your car, by the way, or is this
oh no, it's company car.
the company car? So it was like, you see where the newspaper thing is there by the gate? More or less there. Because I remember as a kid, when we looked out our door, which was on this side, we saw directly in front of us the Baza home. And then this was the Guerrero house. And then the Pincos were already there.
They're
and
still here.
the Sablans, the Kangs were already there. And then we had many other neighbors. Some of them changed, but these were the standard ones. Yeah, and now it's a road. And then again, yeah, my house now is my family home is now a road, a street.
Okay, so just as
This is it, right?
we head back to the friary.
Oh, this is
Okay,
it?
this way. What are your thoughts on
This is too short.
I know. Anything else you'd like to touch on, or I don't know, what are your thoughts? Do you have anything to say about the state of the Catholic Church? I know. Have you met Archbishop Burns?
I have not met Archbishop Burns.
Oh, you haven't met him yet.
I have not met him yet, and he has not met me yet. And probably we'll just meet for the first time in the sacristy before Mass, or maybe at the Natautotumano after the Mass. And I don't have any diocesan position. I'm not the head of anything. I'm basically unemployed. But being unemployed allows me to be something else, which is the spare tire. I like being the spare tire. Just put me in the trunk till you need me. But they do call on me from Jigo to Maleso. Can you do this? 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 And that seems to suit me, and I suit it. So maybe this is it. I'm 55 years old. I'm glad to finally know what I'm meant to do. Took me 55 years to figure it out. But, Archbishop Burns doesn't really have to deal with me because I don't have any diocesan position.
Okay.
I haven't been hired, so I can't be fired. I'm just a priest. But that's saying a lot right there. So I'm trying to be a good priest. God forgive me for all my faults and failings and all the disappointments that people have in me, because I just can't be there all the time. I can't answer phone calls all the time. But I'm trying to do my best with the 16 hours that God gives me every day besides sleeping. Including spending 44 minutes with Isa Baza.
Thank you so much. I know you have a busy schedule.
It's
Probably
all
have a lot
right.
of things to do during the day.
This reminds me of the days when I was a teenager in the 1970s, when you had nothing to do on Guam but climb in the back of a pickup with a bunch of friends and go around the island. That's what we did for fun in those days.
All right. Thank you so much, Father Eric. And we hope to have you again here, and I'm sure I'll see you here at the friary.
Oh, come on
all
up.
across the island.
Come on
being
up.
unemployed and doing what you do.
Come on up. There's always something going on here.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Oh, you don't have to get down. No need. Take care.
Okay. Bye, Father Eric.
Triple J says yes. Check out our new and enhanced website at triplejguam.com. Get real-time view of every vehicle in our inventory, instant trade-in, plus easy financing. Triple J says yes. triplejguam.com.